Hi guys, so now we are ready to separate our socks. So quick recap, we put our two lifelines in, have one in floss and one in a barber cord, pearl string, whatever brand you have. I'm going to show you how we're going to separate, cut our little string, and the pros and cons basically of doing the floss pickup or doing the barber cord with our little slip through. Okay, so let's start with picking up the floss. So I'm going to pick up the floss while it's still together as the sock, cut my string, and then show you how picking up on the barber cord is really easy if you choose to cut first and just pull your stitches through. Okay, so this is obviously the back of my sock because this is where the heels are, and this is the front of my sock because obviously it's just the front leg. I'm going to go through, I'm going to put my hand in the sock just to kind of help me a little bit here. And we are looking for where our floss is. As you can see, it's holding the right leg of the stitches, and we're just going to go and pick up every stitch around where this floss is, right? And you know what? I think I'm actually thinking about my needles right now. I was doing it on my long one, but I'm actually going to use it on my 9-inch circular instead, because for this part of my sock where the floss is, that's going to be the cuff, and I like working in the 9-inch circular for my cuff. So I'm going to go in with my little 9-inch and pick those stitches up, and I'll use my longer 32-inch for the toe area. As you can see, that floss is a really nice guide as far as picking up these stitches. Like, there's no guessing with your eyes, like, am I in the right row? That's what I had previously mentioned in my other video that I really hated about picking up stitches on afterthought methods, when you were kind of like going in blind in a way. Like, ugh, my eyes just jumped all over the place. They were like row hopping for sure. But yeah, just gonna keep picking up all those stitches on the floss. So let me get these guys picked up, and then we'll get into cutting our middle row here where the stitch marker is. Okay, so as you can see, we have gone around and picked up all of these stitches. Let me get my hand in here and kind of show you. So that's where the two strings meet, and we have gone all the way around and picked up every single stitch. Okay, so this is where sometimes the scary part comes for some people, is cutting the string. So we have our stitch marker on this 28th, or whatever your middle of round stitches. And this nice thing with the locking stitch marker is that it's already holding the right leg of those middle row of stitches, if you can see right there. So what we have to do is take our little scissors, boop, snip, and we're ready to start picking the stitches. So I like to just take my other needle, whatever one I'm not using, and just very gently start picking the stitches out. And I work evenly, so I'll pick from right to left in this way, and I'll pick some stitches that way. So if we need any spare string, like the tail end of the string for tightening up any little holes or anything for when we pick up for our toe and our cuff, we can. But if not, it's just there and we can weave it in. It's not a big deal, but it's nice to have a little bit on either side, So same thing on this side, using that needle and unpicking them. And you can see the barber cord here has those stitches, and they're holding really nicely. So that'll be our next step. Once we unpick this guy, we'll go through and use the barber cord to pick up the other set of stitches, which is really easy. And that's where you kind of, like I said, you pay the difference. The floss is really easy to apply when you're setting up your stitches. You just have to take the time to follow that guide to pick them up with your needle. Whereas if you use the barber cords, they're, you know, definitely a bit more fiddly and time consuming to put them in, but you know, you can go straight into cutting your actual sock and just using the barber cord and your needle to get them straight on, no fuss. So yeah, I'm going to continue unpicking all the way this way, all the way that way, and then we'll get back and I'll show you how to get these guys on. Okay, so we are at the very last couple of stitches on either side where we've unpicked. So we have these two tail rounds from where we cut our yarn in the middle. I wanted to come back at this point just to tell you guys, like, you know, as you're unpicking, don't get too picking happy or get too carried away when you get to these last few stitches. Be real mindful and slow when you get to the end, because sometimes, you know, you can start ripping at things and this little, you know, floss string is in the way. And when you go to do the last couple, let me try and move this so it's a little bit easier to see. You don't want to accidentally start unpicking extra stitches. So I'm kind of always moving my strings around, picking either side, just to make sure that I'm not overdoing it by any means. And I can see where I've accidentally kind of picked at my floss there. Haha. So yeah, just being careful as I'm unpicking. I'm at the very, very end. This guy. One. There's two. Where are you on this side? Three. 2, 4. And then I'm just gonna lightly pull those guys. Bam. We are separated. And here we have, as we pull, see we have this little loop here. That's one of your stitches. And you have this little string here. Pull that guy. Because if you unpick this one, you're going to lose this stitch. So when you get to those last couple, you just lightly pull it. Bam. And now we can take our floss out. Pull that guy out. And boom. You have got everything on the needles ready to start working. And that's going to be for your cuff. So you can just do your ribbing and cast off in your ribbing. That's one sock. Now here we are with our other sock. Same thing. Got that little extra string here. You want that guy. You don't want to lose your stitches, but you can see everything is held really nicely. These guys are stuck together. There we go. So these are for your toe, and then obviously you've got your provisional for your cuff over here. So what we're going to do, we're going to get our 32-inch or whatever you like for your magic loop for the toe. Put the needle into our little pearl string, and we're just going to slide these bad boys through. And then once they're all on here, we'll be ready to separate for the the ribbing, you know? I mean, you know, like split it in half for everything else. This can be a little bit tricky as you pull because, you know, you gotta get around that corner, but don't stress about it. It all works out in the end. So yeah, just pull in the barber cord, get in them stitches on the needle. Here you do want to be careful of where this joins because you don't want to lose your stitches either. So there we are. All your stitches on your needle. You can go across and, you know, 2, 4, 5, 10. Sweet. Okay, that's half my stitches. I just separate them stitches on the needle, and bam, we're ready for magic loop. So now you're separated for your toe, separated for your cuff, and you just have 1, 2, 3 for your cuff on this side, and you're done. You have a pair of socks, and that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, if you have a copy of my pattern, I'm going to have an email in there that you can email me personally for any extra help. Okay, happy knitting, guys.